Welcome, everyone. Today, we bring you another chilling true crime story. One that is real, disturbing, and impossible to forget. Every detail matters, and every moment leads closer to the truth. So stay connected with us till the end, because this story will change the way you see crime forever. On an abandoned Wisconsin farm, a scrap hunter opened a purple suitcase and found a young pregnant woman's body inside, a discovery that led police to uncover a brutal murder, a hidden trafficking ring, and a boyfriend who vanished without a trace. Blackthorn Farm sat silent beneath the gray Wisconsin sky, a forgotten stretch of land littered with broken machinery and collapsing barns. Darren Wells had been there dozens of times before, scavenging scrap metal and tools. But on October 14, 2020, something different caught his eye: a large purple suitcase resting near the back tree line. It looked wrong, out of place, almost too clean for a farm that had been abandoned for over a decade. Darren approached cautiously. The ground around it was stained a dark brown, almost black, as if something had leaked and dried there. When he reached down and touched the handle, a sickly metallic smell filled the air. His stomach tightened. He pulled the zipper halfway open. Inside, he saw strands of long black hair and pale skin. His breath caught. He stumbled back, realizing he was staring at a human arm curled tightly inside the bag. Within minutes, deputies surrounded the scene. Crime tape fluttered in the wind. Detective Laura Reyes arrived shortly after and immediately recognized the gravity of what they were dealing with. "A body in a suitcase is never an accident," she said. "Someone wanted her gone." And so, a quiet farm turned into the center of a statewide homicide investigation. The remains inside the suitcase belonged to a young woman. The coroner estimated she had been dead for several months. Bruises around her neck suggested strangulation. She was also pregnant at the time of her death. Investigators labeled her Jane Doe until DNA results came back. Clothing offered their first clue: a black t-shirt from a Milwaukee restaurant called Hawthorne's Grill. That led them to Maria Alvarez, a 24-year-old immigrant who had vanished earlier that year. When her family was notified, the shock hit like a tidal wave. Maria's sister Elena cried as she told detectives she was scared of someone. She said she found out something she wasn't supposed to. Detectives now had a name, and with it, a motive waiting to be uncovered. Maria's boyfriend, Victor Sandoval, became the immediate focus. Records showed a history of domestic disputes. Friends said he had been furious when he learned Maria was pregnant. Phone records revealed Maria had argued with Victor the night she disappeared. His truck was seen heading north toward Blackthorn County that same evening. Then Victor vanished. Detective Reyes leaned over the case file. "If he didn't kill her," she said, "why did he run?" The search for Victor officially began. Detectives soon discovered Maria had been working as a waitress at Hawthorne's Grill. But she wasn't just serving tables. She had overheard conversations about illegal shipments passing through the area. She told a coworker she planned to expose something big. That coworker later confirmed Victor had been involved with a trafficking ring tied to the same restaurant. Maria knew too much, and that knowledge may have sealed her fate. The suitcase wasn't just about murder, it was about silence. Victor's trail led out of Wisconsin. Authorities found evidence he had crossed into Missouri using fake identification. He had cut ties with everyone, even his family. But one thing gave him away: the gray pickup truck he drove when Maria disappeared. Missouri police found it abandoned behind a warehouse. Forensics lifted fingerprints and confirmed it was Victor's. He was still alive, and still hiding. In November 2023, a Missouri officer stopped a man driving a stolen vehicle. He gave the name Miguel Torres. But when they ran his prints, the truth surfaced. It was Victor Sandoval. He was taken into custody immediately and extradited back to Wisconsin to face charges. Detective Reyes said only one thing when she saw him in handcuffs: "It's over." Victor initially denied everything. But when detectives showed him Maria's DNA match and the evidence from the truck, his story changed. He admitted they argued. He admitted she threatened to expose the trafficking ring. Then he broke. "I panicked," he whispered. "I didn't mean to kill her. I just wanted her to stay quiet." But the damage had already been done. By the time the case reached the prosecution stage, Investigators had already built a timeline strong enough to secure a conviction. But proving what happened inside that abandoned farm required more than assumptions. It required hard, irrefutable evidence. The purple suitcase itself became the centerpiece of the forensic investigation. Crime lab technicians carefully processed every inch of it. Blood traces on the interior lining matched Maria's DNA, confirming that the suitcase had been used to transport her remains. More importantly, a partial fingerprint was recovered from the zipper handle, and it belonged to Victor Sandoval. Detectives also traced Victor's movements through his phone records. Although he had attempted to erase most of his digital footprint, data retrieved from cellular towers showed that his device had pinged near Blackthorn Farm on the exact night Maria disappeared. It was the same isolated area where the suitcase was eventually discovered. A search of Victor's abandoned pickup truck revealed fibers identical to those inside the suitcase. Soil samples taken from the tires matched the dirt composition of Blackthorn Farm's back lot, linking him directly to the crime scene. But perhaps the most chilling piece of evidence came from Maria's own phone. Before she vanished, she had sent a voice message to her sister Elena. In it, Maria sounded frightened. "If anything happens to me," she said softly, "it's because I found out what Victor is doing." That single message told the entire story. Prosecutors now had what they needed: motive, opportunity, and physical proof. There was no longer any doubt about who was responsible for Maria's death. The suitcase wasn't just a burial, it was the silent witness that would finally speak for her. The courtroom was filled with tension the day Victor Sandoval was brought in to face his charges. Maria's family sat quietly in the front row, clutching photographs of her, reminders of the young woman whose life had been stolen. Prosecutors laid out the details of the case with precision. They described how Maria had confronted Victor about the trafficking operation and threatened to expose it. They explained how Victor had responded with violence, strangling her before placing her body in the suitcase and abandoning it at the remote farm. Every piece of evidence was presented: the fingerprints, the truck fibers, the phone pings, and Maria's final voice message. Together, they formed a narrative that was impossible to ignore. Victor barely spoke. His defense attorney attempted to argue that the killing had not been premeditated, but the brutality of the crime made leniency difficult to justify. When given a chance to address the court, Victor looked down and said only, "I'm sorry. I can't change what I did." For Maria's family, those words meant little. Justice, not apologies, was what they had come for. The judge paused for a long moment before delivering the final sentence. He looked directly at Victor. "This was not just a murder," he said. "This was an attempt to erase a life and bury the truth." He acknowledged Maria's courage in standing up to Victor and exposing his criminal activity. He spoke about the loss her family endured and the unborn child whose future was stolen along with hers. Then the sentence came down. 40 years in the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. Maria's sister Elena wept quietly. "She finally has justice," she whispered. As Victor was led away in handcuffs, the purple suitcase remained behind, no longer a symbol of horror, but of truth uncovered and a killer brought to justice.